Money comes, and then it disappears. You work harder than ever, yet something always pulls it out of your hands. Bills, emergencies, losses, one after another. And the most painful part? You can't explain why. This video might make you uncomfortable, because the Quran already explained this problem long ago, and most people never realized it was talking directly about them. Allah promised Rizq. Not maybe, not sometimes. He promised it. So if the promise is true, and it is, then the real question becomes dangerous. Why does the money keep leaving your life? What if the issue was never your job, never your skills, never the economy, but something unseen that quietly blocks barakah while you're trying harder and harder to survive? Some people recite one surah and feel relief they can't explain. Others recite the same surah for years and stay stuck. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why that happens, and why this surah doesn't work the way people think it does. This message is not for everyone. It's not for the distracted. It's not for the one just passing time. It's for the one who stayed because something inside them whispered, "This is about me." Before we continue, don't overthink this. If this struggle feels personal, type "I'm listening" in the comments. Before starting this video, don't forget to like this video, because it gives us a lot of strength to continue sharing beneficial content. And I invite you to subscribe to our channel and activate the notification bell to stay informed of our next publications on the Islamic faith. Share it with your loved ones and leave a comment to tell me what you think. Thank you and good video. Define the pain. Right now, somewhere in the United States, a delivery driver finishes a 14-hour shift. His body is exhausted. His phone shows today's earnings, and yet his bank account is still negative. He did everything they said would work. He worked harder, longer, smarter, and somehow he's still behind. In Egypt, a mother sits at a table late at night, staring at two numbers written on paper: rent, school fees. She can only circle one. She whispers Bismillah before choosing, not because she's calm, but because it's all she has left. In Europe, a freelancer refreshes their inbox again and again. Last year, they were booked. This year, clients vanished without explanation. No warning, no mistake they can point to, just silence and fear. And somewhere else, a business owner who survived COVID now feels more pressure than ever. Prices rose, customers disappeared, income shrank, effort increased, results didn't. This is the pain no one talks about properly. People don't feel poor, they feel trapped. Trapped in effort that doesn't convert into ease, trapped in money that arrives and escapes just as fast. Trapped wondering, what am I doing wrong? The problem is not lack of effort. The problem is lack of barakah. The Quran already showed us this difference. Wealth that looks large but brings stress, fear and loss. And provision that looks small but carries peace, stability and sufficiency. If this sounds like your life, stay. Because what you're experiencing is not random, and you're not alone in it. Before we go deeper, be honest in the comments. Which one describes you right now? Working hard but stuck, or money comes and disappears? Introduce the surah. Now, listen carefully, because this is where most people lose the message. The surah I'm about to talk about was revealed during a time of fear, loss, and uncertainty. Not just personal fear, collective fear. The kind that shakes an entire community. The kind that makes people question whether tomorrow will even come. And when it was revealed,
it didn't promise gold. It didn't promise sudden wealth or instant success. It promised something far stronger. It promised a shift in the way Allah's promise works in your life. The surah was not meant to be recited like a charm. It was meant to be understood like a map. Because the people who recited it in desperation did not recite it to get money. They recited it because they were drowning in fear, and they needed to remember what Allah truly controls. The companions didn't memorize it for status. They recited it when they had no food. They recited it when they had no protection. They recited it when the future looked like a blank wall. And the Quran responded not with a magic trick, but with a deeper reality. You are not losing money because you are weak. You are losing money because you are forgetting what you are truly connected to. Allah does not send relief randomly. He sends it with understanding. He sends it to the person who recognizes the problem, not just the symptom. So here's the question that matters. Do you want the explanation slowly, step by step, or do you want it directly, without delay? Comment slow or direct below, and we'll continue in the way that helps you most. The surah revealed plus meaning. The surah we are talking about is Surah Al-Waqiyah. And if you've ever heard it described as the surah of wealth, you've only heard half the truth. Because Surah Al-Waqiyah isn't about money. It's about what happens when the illusion of control breaks. When the people of the Quran were asked to trust Allah, they didn't say yes because it was easy. They said yes because they had seen the consequences of trusting everything else. Listen to what this surah does. It begins by describing the day of judgment, the moment when every false security falls away. And the first thing that breaks is the illusion that we are in control. Then it divides people into three groups. Those who will be in bliss, those who will be in suffering, and those who are in between. But the point isn't just the afterlife. The point is this. Your life is a preview of what you believe in. If you believe your money comes from your effort alone, your life becomes a struggle. If you believe your wealth comes from Allah, your life becomes a journey of trust. Now listen to one verse like it's speaking to you personally. And the earth will shine with the light of its Lord. This is not just a description. It is a reminder that the world itself is a sign of Allah's power. More powerful than any job, any business, any bank account. Then the surah says, then why do you not see? Why do you not see that your efforts are only a small part of the story? And it tells the story of people who trusted their crops, their rain, their wealth, and lost it all. They believed the land, the weather, and their own plans were stronger than Allah's will. But then it shows the contrast. Those who relied on Allah, who did not abandon effort but did not idolize it, were the ones who found relief. This is the hidden message. Rizq is not chased, it is unlocked. The key is not more hustle. The key is deeper trust. And now, I want you to feel it. Which verse hit you hardest? Write the number or the feeling in the comments. Real modern miracles happening today. You might be thinking, okay, but this is all spiritual talk. Where is the proof? The proof isn't always a miracle that looks like a movie. Sometimes it's a quiet shift that changes everything. Here are real stories happening today. Stories that don't sound magical until you feel the change. A man in his 30s lost his job during layoffs. He started reciting Surah Al-Waqiyah daily. Not because he expected instant wealth, but because he wanted calm. Within weeks, his panic began to fade. He stopped scrolling job posts like a desperate person and started applying with confidence. The first job he accepted wasn't his dream job, but it was the door he needed. Then opportunities started appearing, one after another, like doors opening after a storm. A shop owner in a crowded city was barely surviving. He was exhausted, angry, and always thinking about what he didn't have. One day, he decided to recite the Surah and focus on gratitude instead of fear. He didn't suddenly become rich, but his mindset shifted. He started seeing customers he had ignored before. He started noticing small needs he could fulfill. His business didn't explode overnight, but it began to stabilize. And there's a family who lost their income during inflation. They could have collapsed under pressure. Instead, they focused on salah, consistent recitation, and humble trust. Their bills didn't disappear, but their stress did. And with stress gone, they made better decisions, found support, and began rebuilding slowly. This is the psychological truth. Calm leads to clarity, and clarity leads to better decisions. When panic leaves, provision finds a door. If you're watching this and you feel stuck, this is the part where you need hope, not hype. Because your life is not only a test, it is a story being written. Now I want to ask you, have you ever seen something change after turning back to Allah? Even small. Share it in the comments. Why it doesn't work for some people. Now here's the part most people don't want to hear. Surah Al-Waqi'ah doesn't work for everyone. Not because the surah is weak, but because the person reciting it is missing the point. Some people recite it mechanically, like a habit, like a routine, like a ritual they do while their mind is elsewhere. The Quran is not a spell you say to get results. It's a message you understand, so it changes your heart. Some people expect blessings while still living on haram income. They want barakah from a source Allah didn't approve. They pray for relief, but they're still building their life on something forbidden. Some people neglect salah and think a surah will replace it. But the surah is a reminder, not a substitute. Some people don't have patience. They recite once, then quit when nothing happens. They forget that Allah's timing is not the same as our desperation. This is why the Quran warns about people who ask for blessings but rejected guidance. They wanted the result without the responsibility. They wanted the gift without the giver. The Quran is not a spell. It is a mirror. If your life is full of struggle, the surah will show you what your heart is attached to. And if your heart is attached to the wrong things, you will keep losing. So be honest. What do you think blocks barakah the most today? Is it mechanical recitation, haram income, neglect of salah, or lack of patience? Write it in the comments. How to practice this? Surah, practical routine. If you want this surah to actually change your life, you need a routine, not a one-time moment of emotion. Here is a simple, repeatable practice that anyone can do. Choose a time. Recite after Fajr or before sleep. Choose a time you can be consistent. Set your intention. Don't recite to get money. Recite to unlock barakah, to remove what blocks you, and to return to Allah. One reflection question. After reciting, ask yourself, what am I relying on more than Allah? The answer will show the block. One daily action aligned with tawakkul. Do one thing today that proves you trust Allah. Apply for a job, reach out to a client, or start a small business idea. Do it with calm, not panic. Repeat this for 7 days. Consistency is louder than desperation. Because desperation makes you blind. Consistency makes you see. If you commit to this for 7 days, comment, I commit. And I'll remind you to stay on track. Powerful closing. Hope plus dua plus retention. If you're watching this, and your heart feels heavy, listen carefully. You are not alone. You are not forgotten. And you are not stuck forever. Allah sees what you are carrying. He sees the nights you spend worrying. He sees the moments you force a smile while your soul is breaking. And even if the money hasn't arrived yet, even if your situation hasn't changed, even if your efforts feel useless, Allah is not late. He's preparing you. He's preparing your heart, your patience, and your trust. He is preparing the door that will open when you are ready to walk through it. So before you leave, make this dua with me. O Allah, grant us barakah in our rizq, open our hearts to your wisdom, and remove what blocks your blessings from our lives. Ameen. If this video reached you at the right moment, write Allah is enough for me in the comments. And share it with someone who needs peace, because this message might be the reminder they're waiting for.